And today, as the caption says, I'm out here building my own 60-gallon air compressor is what I'm doing. So for quite some time, I wanted to get a bigger air compressor. And as you can see, I have my faithful Harbor Freight uh, air compressor that I've been having, 20 gallon that I bought new probably about 8, 9 years ago. And it's been working okay. I have no complaints with it. Everybody says one thing or another. I know that it draws a lot of amps, and you need to have a good 30 amp plus breaker in order to run it. If not, it won't operate well if you don't have a 30 amp plus a breaker on it. And that's the only problem I've had with it. It's just that it just takes a lot of amperage. But this is what I'm working on now. So a couple of days ago, I showed you all that I had got a bunch of tools and stuff from my aunt, and I had got like a 15-gallon compressor from it. It was an older compressor, but it had good parts on it. It had this 8 horsepower motor, and it had this compressor here on it. So the tank on it was leaking, and I know that I said, well, what am I going to do? So I thought about it. I had a 25-gallon, 26-gallon tank here, and I was going to take and build a structure like this, a mountain base on it. So when I started to calculate what it would cost me, I said, oh, that's probably going to cost me maybe $100. So I said, you know what? This would be a perfect opportunity for me to get me a bigger air compressor. So what I did, I went on Facebook Marketplace, and a guy was closing up his body shop, and he had two of these. He had this one, and he had another one. He had this one, and it came with this compressor here. It came with this compressor here on it. And he said, "Hey man, I just want $100 for it." So it was probably like 40. I got the motor compressor on here. I got the switch wired up, the pressure switch wired up, and everything everything was missing. Had to put the outlet on it. I had to put the pressure release on it. Had to put the gauge on stuff like that. And the motor here had some bad wiring, so I went on and put a new open the open up right here, and I re and put a new uh, card on it, wired that up, put a new card right here on the switch, wired it up. I tested it yesterday. Everything works, the breaker and everything works on it, works like it's supposed to work. But I hadn't been able to get it to, I just let it run. I didn't try to pressurize tank because I've been working with my fittings. So I'm trying to see if I'm going to use this line here over to a T, but this is the original line here that came off of that compressor, the old compressing tank. So I bought me fitting, and I'm trying to see if I'm gonna put this here into the tank there, and then I need to get me a ferrule for this fitting because this thing here leaks. Need to get a ferrule. I need to cut this and put a ferrule in it, put it down there and do that, and see if that'll work. If this compressor here has the capacity, the capacity to air up the tank, fine. If not, then I'll see about getting a head gasket for this one here, and then I'll put this one back on it. Put this one here back on it and run it like that. But that's just what I'm doing. And like I say, it's a pretty good tank. I put an air, I put a water strain on it. All this stuff came off the other compressor that my aunt gave me. I just used all that. Put water strains that way. If I want to do some painting or something like that, I have a I have a straight air here with a water separator on it. If this thing here is bad, I replace that too. But the other day it was working okay, so we'll see. But just what I'm doing, and I'm just always trying to save some money because these compressors will run you. I've seen them as cheap as 600. I've seen them as high as 1100, just depending on what horsepower motor that you get and what size compressor it is. And for the $100 that I have in it, and that's the tank, hey, I'm happy with that. Like I say, If this compressor, if this dual compressor here is not enough to power it up, to air it up, then I'll just take that one there and I'll get a head gasket for that one. I'll put it back on there and I'll get it going. But as always, I'm always doing something. I like to tinker with stuff and all that kind of stuff. And so that's just what I do. So that's just what I do. You know, I'm always trying to find a way to get something done for the cheap. And I mean, if I have to buy something, I will. But tools is something you can always rebuild tools and stuff like that. You all know that you can always rebuild tools and that kind of stuff. So just what I'm working on right now. Not really working on the cars right now because I got the brakes I got the brakes for the Monte Carlo, the rear brakes, and I got the spring kit. But unfortunately today I'm watching my grandkids, so I can't really do a lot of stuff out here in the garage. I only can do what I'm doing right now. But just wanted to show you all what's going on, and thanks for your continued support and everything, and following the channel. If you haven't done so, please share the video, subscribe, like, comment, and all that stuff like that. And let me know what you're working on, what you're doing, if you've done something several to that. And as always, may God continue to be a blessing to each and every one of you. Get out there and work on your projects whenever time allow you to, because if you start, you can truly finish. Have a great day, and I'll get you all on the next one.